Hey, Nathan, can you hear?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. I can hear you too.
Nice. Hey, Gregory.
Hello.
Guys, uh, my speakers are going crazy. Just a second, I'll be right back.
Hi,
Hey
Yuri.
Nathan, how you doing?
Doing okay. And you and
Good.
yourself?
I am all right. Listen, I wanted to ask you. I think I asked you somewhere, but I didn't get an answer. OpenSUSE, I think David is almost done.
I responded to that. Yeah, we're working on the repos.
So from my standpoint, from testing, I just like added to the mix, right?
Oh no, not yet. We don't have it in Shaman yet. So there's no.
Yeah, but as soon as it's done, I mean,
Well, as soon as it's done, then we would add it to supported distros, and then it would get into the mix automatically, right? Through the
that's what I
randomization.
meant. But
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that like that's so essentially we will treat it as a standard distro for like all testing from now on.
That's the final goal.
But
We
we're
still
talking
have
about only master, right? A master plus. We're not talking about before master. Or we do.
No, this is more of a, I'm hoping to finish it for Nautilus. Yeah, so we wouldn't, it would go into master right for now. Yes,
Okay,
not the backporting.
got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because the OpenSUSE 15 that we're starting with is a Python 3 distro, kind of like Ubuntu 18, and it,
Okay.
So it's 3 minutes past 5. Let's get started.
Hey guys.
so Greg, I just responded to your testing query on PR 1210.
I don't know if people have other things, but I thought maybe we'd actually just go down the list of PRs. I tried to look at it a little bit in the Etherpad, but then I lost track. So, well, I guess I didn't get all the way through it, and I'm not sure which of these have already been looked at and which ones haven't. So, did you
Sure.
guys have anything else you wanted to talk about, or?
Well, I have some stuff from that we didn't have time for 2 weeks ago that are in the agenda on the Etherpad, but we can shift that forward to a time when Zach is in attendance.
Now?
Zach is in attendance.
Yeah, I showed up a few minutes late.
Hi, Zach.
Oh. I just merged a PR 1002. It was the repo shorthand one. But thanks for the changes on that.
Cool.
So sorry, I was typing when I first showed up, but did I heard something about going through PRs, and was there anything else?
Yeah, on the agenda in the Etherpad.
Oh, right, the Etherpad.
Yeah, I don't remember where we got to last time or a couple weeks ago. So do you want to just run through what you got then, Nathan?
Well, if you open the Etherpad September 26th, I'm recalling this is now kind of in when a job gets stuck and times out after 12 hours, there is no remote directory in the you know how when a job dies normally or it fails or passes or it fails, then the logs get archived from the targets into the remote directory. But if the job gets stuck and times out, it's killed or reaped after 12 hours, there's no remote directory.
So
And I was surprised by that, but Ricardo showed it to me, and I was forced by evidence to admit that that's the case.
interesting. So this isn't just jobs that timed out waiting for nodes?
No, this is a job that was running and it was doing something in a cluster that was deployed, but somehow got stuck.
Yeah, I think this is a long-standing ticket. You sound surprised, Zach, which is confusing me, but I think this is the thing because the cleanup is actually like one of the part of the Ceph task or something, and what you're hitting after the 12 hours is just like the Suthology worker says or something says, oh, it's actually dead, and so that
Yeah,
like
so
It doesn't go through the unwind phase. The tasks don't unwind, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, so the reason I'm
nothing.
surprised is just because I haven't thought about this in forever. Perpetual problem here. So yeah, so the cleanup, which is what puts that data together, is part of various tasks, right? I'm sure some of them is the Ceph task, and others might be part of the internal set of task things. But when a job timeout happens, what's killing the task is the worker, and it's just, I believe, sending sigterm to the process. So it doesn't do any of those things. And I can see why that would be really crappy, right? So an idea could be using a different signal, at least initially, with the worker saying, all right, it's time to kill this job. Let's send it, I don't know, sig hup or sig user 2 or something like that. And then giving it a certain amount of time to do its business. And then if it's still alive, then we send it a sigterm. Because I think that there are definitely going to be cases where, like, the reason a job times out is it's deadlocked in some capacity. So the cleanup's just not going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of being helpful is, and this, I think this would be much, much more work, is to find a way to either split out the cleanup stuff into something that could be run in a different process, or make it somehow reconstructible, like the data that it needs to figure out what to clean up and collect, to be able to run that out of process. But I think that would be a lot more difficult.
Probably unnecessary. Most of the timeouts we get now are because something happened in the cluster, not because there's something fundamentally wrong with the Suthology workers or the Suthology
Okay.
code that's running.
Yeah, time was back in the day that, like, we had a lot of while true loops that didn't have that we would get stuck in, or there would be like some G event messiness that would happen that would deadlock the process. But okay, so this is just tasks sitting around in a loop then, trying to do
Yeah, I
things
mean
and
it'll
failing.
be it'll be like it's like waiting for write to finish, and the write's not happening because an OSD, like, it took down the only OSD that's alive or that has the data it needs or something. So like it might be that one of the Ceph tasks is broken, but if we like say, hey, like I guess I don't know exactly what the options would be. I assume that we'd like kill the one, like force the one that's running to quit and then run back to the unwind phase or something.
So
Or is that not feasible?
I guess so let's see. In a world where all tasks were subclasses of the task class, this would be possibly easier. Sort of because what you're proposing is basically like when we notice that the job is taking too long, the worker does a thing that causes the current task to exit. Is that what you're talking about? So that it can go through the rest of the stack?
The other option is that we pull the like the log recovery out into something else and just invoke it and kill everything.
Right.
That also works.
I just feel like I think there are many different things that do log collection.
Really? I think that could be
I'm
the
not
case.
positive
But I
on
thought
this.
it was just. I think we just somewhere have a thing that like runs scp-r on that directory. Well, I guess a couple different directories now, but I don't know.
Something
It
has to
used just
create
be
that
one thing.
remote directory, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
It doesn't get created at all.
Yeah.
We'd have to find out what does it. But it wouldn't be multiple things creating it.
But it's true that multiple things wouldn't create it, but let's see. So I need to look into, I believe it's in the internal tasks somewhere. So there is a directory on each remote that the remotes, usually it's via Toothology execution, can put things in, and then Toothology later gathers that directory, names it for the actual host that it came from. So I think multiple tasks can put things in there. I don't know how often it happens. So I'm trying to, while we're talking, look into this. But it seems as though, like, if we decided to do something like use a signal that indicated to Toothology, all right, whatever you think you're doing right now, this job is failing, so begin the unwind process, as if it had hit an unhandled exception at that same point. Like, would that maybe be good enough here? It seems like it might be.
Yeah, if it caused the unwind phase to start. Yeah.
Anyway, you're right. That's a thing that is annoying and probably should get fixed. And probably there's even a ticket for it somewhere in the tracker. I don't know if you've seen any version of the talk I've given on Toothology, but this is definitely just one of the like sharp edges we've gotten used to and forgotten about. That is bad.
Right, because he had to resort to watching it
Yeah.
in real time and then seeing, oh, it's stuck, and then get in there before and look around and try to figure out what's going on before the time ran out.
Yeah.
That's obviously terrible. I wonder, like, I wonder if he's seeing how many different bugs he's seeing, right? Because, all right, so the fact that we're not collecting data when a timeout happens is something that, it seems like we want to fix. But we shouldn't forget about the reason why we care, right? It's whatever's happening in these tests is causing the job to never finish. And I would consider each and every time that happens to be a bug.
Well, all I know is Ricardo reported that in his work report, that I was on vacation last week and I didn't talk with him about it, but he reported that he had fixed all of the bugs in his work in progress branch. That the toothology testing had exposed. So
Well, yeah, but it means also that there's a toothology task that if Ceph breaks,
yeah,
doesn't proceed.
yeah, I
Which
understand, but
on the
I
whole, like,
don't know
makes
if
sense,
there's
but
a reproducer for around for that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I guess just something to keep in mind going forward. It's a job hitting the timeout is akin to like the kernel totally crashing. Like it just shouldn't happen. We should avoid that. Of course, we should try to do sane things when it does happen. Um, but
Yeah.
we should
yeah,
also
it's always going to
make it
happen. Someone's going to forget to write a timeout when they write a new test, because
right.
so yeah.
But in this case, he was running. This is his. He's refactoring the Messenger version 1 in order to be able to write Messenger version 2.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that'll
he
definitely do
he
it.
was running RADOS on Messenger refactored measure version 1, so he wasn't writing any new tests. So it must be a bug in the existing tests. But where
Yeah.
the bug is, I have no idea.
Right.
But yeah, and actually, I mean, like, I'm not sure that's actually a feasible statement, Zach, because if we do that, then basically everything we do needs to be wrapped inside of timeouts,
Um,
which is not easy to do right now.
certainly not everything, but
Well, yeah, I mean, but like, because like he's saying, like Ricardo was like refactoring the messenger, which means that the simplest thing that talks to the Ceph cluster could just hang forever because you know the message passing layer was broken. um, so grabbing a Ceph-S might just block, and that's the thing that can happen when you change the way the Ceph code works.
yeah, no, I get that we can introduce new hangs and everything. It just seems like, and I wouldn't put this as a higher priority, right,
Yeah.
than making sure that we collect logs even when this does happen. But I still think that it's a bug somewhere if the test never actually finishes.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the way, like, that mean if you want to guarantee the test finish, then they need to have timeouts running on them, and you can have them running on like every task individually, and that could just be part of our pattern. But we don't do that yet, and there's not an easy way to do it, like get like a wrapped way for people to build tasks that do that right now.
And from a philosophical point of view, toothology is the purpose of it is to expose bugs, right? So, if the whole thing times out, obviously there's a bug somewhere, as Zach said, but then we go and look, we want to debug it by examining the logs, and we can't because they're not there. So
Right. Well, I'm not trying to argue that point. That's
Yeah.
something that we should fix, right?
Anyway,
and that's probably the most important part of this.
Yeah. So Nathan, can you go through and just make a tracker ticket about this? And you're right. It's something that should get fixed. We have two options. And who knows when any of us will be able to do it. But we have two ways to go, one of which is actually pretty reasonable.
So, and just so you guys know, that the reason I'm harping on about like it being a bug that tests don't finish is there are other tests that want to run always 100% of the time, right? And so that if we're spending 12 hours where like 11 of those hours might be just sitting around doing nothing, then we've lost testing capacity, right? And that's a big reason why I have this opinion. But yeah, the first priority should be, get the logs regardless. Sure. I agree with that.
All right, and then you want the ability to kill toothology kill. I don't know how this implementation works. There's a reason.
Okay.
Yeah. To say there are reasons it is the way it is, and I agree. I agree, it's super annoying. But I'm not sure why. It might be because Toothology Kill has access to the was it the BMCs?
but I'm not.
Oh,
Zach,
so
is
it's like
there?
it would be a security hole to allow people to kill any run at
Yeah.
all, even their own.
Um, at least at full strength. Yeah, I think that might be it. Do you remember, Zach, why this works the way it does?
So let's see. Certainly, it's obvious why you would need sudo to kill a job running as someone else. Um, oh, wait. Yeah, so if it's a scheduled job, um, then the processes are not running as you, even if you scheduled it, right? They're running
Mm-hmm.
under a separate user account, right? That is used for all the scheduled jobs. And that's why you need sudo. I can't tell you why, he's saying when I try to SSH to one of the machines, it asks you for a password. That doesn't make sense to me.
No,
But the
no,
sudo issue,
no. The SSH thing was a problem on his end. He
okay,
fixed it
great.
himself.
Okay, cool. So let's see.
So
David's
the current
saying
the problem
it
is
runs
that
kill on the box
sudo
itself.
is required to kill any run, right? That's
Yes.
They're running as separate users.
It's a design flaw, basically. We could
It's a
more or
flaw in the whole
less, sure.
architecture. Yeah. So it's not that it wouldn't be nice, but does anyone have any idea how to change the way kill
would be-
works or anything?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know how much work this would be. It would not be trivial at all, but let's see. A way that we could do this is have a process that runs as the user that the jobs run as, and Toothology kill is actually invoked by that process. And the way you tell Toothology that you want to kill a job is by talking in some manner to that process. So then you're just issuing an instruction to this
message passing.
Reaper process, and it says, "Cool, I'm going to run Toothology kill for you," and then here's some information about what happened. I guess would probably be good. Does that make sense? Like it
Makes
sounds
total
like
sense, yeah.
it sounds fairly complex, so it would end up being probably some kind of service.
Couldn't it be? Oh yeah. That could be part of this. What we've been talking about with Kier about the replace the instead of having a shell script that starts workers to have some kind of a long running process that starts workers as needed.
Yes.
So it could be part of that.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was just sort of thinking there is like, if we had a sort of supervisor process that would kick off workers, it could also kick off kills. And then we could use the same.
When you do that, we
same
still need to do
interface.
authentication, like within that supervisor process at that point.
So it almost kind of becomes a REST API.
Yes. I would think that that's how you'd want to do it. Yeah. But okay, so a really nice side effect of doing work like that would be that, for example, if we had auth in Pulpito, then all of a sudden we could use Pulpito to kill jobs, and maybe even move closer to the world where we can schedule with a web UI. Sorry, Kier, you were saying something. What was that?
Yeah, I was saying that it should be part of the pedals, which is provided in the REST interface for Pulpito as well, and it should be implemented in some ACL.
Yeah, probably.
Different users.
So let's see. I think there would probably have to be two interfaces here, because Paddles doesn't run with any sort of privilege. It's not even necessarily on the same machine. But there could be a thin interface that a Toothology supervisor type process ran where, a human did all of their interfacing with Paddles or Pulpito or something. And then if paddles had instructions to pass over to the supervisor, then it could just send a message saying, "Hey, do this." Um, does that make sense?
Oh, supervisor, what is it?
Oh, I'm just using that word um, to mean a process that controlled Teethology workers and kill jobs and stuff
I'm
instead
just
of the
interested
shell script job.
if we can refactor the workers, actually.
Uh-huh.
What about the worker shouldn't be executed as we do like now, and the worker should be a single process which will communicate with pedals and get the configuration from the pedals, like number of jobs it can run simultaneously, and the worker can actually manipulate the task that it's executing and providing the kills. So he doesn't go through different, you know, scope of access, and the responsibility of paddles to take connection, saying that, hey, worker, I have a like you can kill this job because someone else requested it, taking into account ACL, which is set on the paddle side, in particular in database, probably.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Because workers already, like for example, they already do know how to kill.
Yeah, the workers are starting sub processes and kill them correspondingly.
Yeah. Um, that could work well. Um, it seems that we might still want to have the model of a worker process per Teethology process, and then something on a higher level to control them, but maybe we could do it with threading instead. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if that would scale as well. Um, but either way, it could work, I think. So I guess something has to ask maybe paddles how many jobs can we run at once for this machine type and decide how many. Uh, yeah, so I feel like there has to be one process controlling how many workers there are, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, this is pretty huge changes actually, and requires refactoring. So probably we can implement workers in parallel, like two paradigmas at the same time,
Yeah,
which
I
can
would think
talk to
so.
pedals. So a
And then, yeah,
new, sorry, go
what was
ahead.
that? No, it's fine.
So I just was saying that it's probably makes sense to re-implement worker or just add a new instance of worker that will be controlling the processes and run sub-processes, and it can be executed in two modes, like server mode or just client mode that is currently running right now. And if it's server mode, it will listen commands or polling commands from the pedals. Yeah.
Right, right. I like that idea because then it doesn't involve writing another service like I had initially thought we might need. If we just if the workers pull paddles, um, that should be good enough.
And pedals actually can be refactored as a main service or
Mm-hmm.
tautology. So, or either way, just any direction will work, but we have to define a new service or just extend the pedals functionality. or just rename it to Tautology Sova instead of Pals. Like this.
Oh yeah, the name was kind of just an inside joke between Alfredo and I several years ago. We could rename it. We could also add it as a sub module to the Teuthology project. I think that's something you guys talked about wanting.
I saw in Ansible another role like the pedals and paddles or poodles. I don't know how it's spelled correctly. Ooh, now we can just bubbles or something else.
Bubbles. Yeah. I think extending it is fine. I think I I don't know that we need to create multiple other services. Um, I think extending it ought to be fine. Um, like it has pretty decent unit test coverage and stuff like that, so not too terribly difficult to make changes to it.
Anyway, we need to start working on pedals. Just it's another question because if we take too much functionality from Tautology to pedals, probably it's better to join or just get the source code of pedals to Tautology repo. I didn't know what is the best.
I would probably
But
advocate using a submodule, kind of like Ceph has dependencies injected as submodules. It seems to work well for Ceph. Maybe we could do something similar here.
No, we discussed a little bit last time. I mean, the one that was before last time.
Whoever's taking notes, thank you. Is that Greg?
Assume that was Nathan still going
I've been
on since it
taking the
was
notes.
yeah.
Could be Nathan.
But I apologize if anything is wrong, correct it. I don't
Yeah,
always grok everything perfectly.
yeah, no apology necessary. No, it's nice to have a record, even if like I'll make sure to like read through it to see if there's anything wrong, right? But no, it's good to have a record for sure.
As for Etherpod, can we add the link to the calendar details?
Oh yeah.
Because it was in previous calendar, but after update it's disappeared. I don't know, probably it's due to security issues or what?
I mean, actually, I just go to the Ceph.com testing page because, like, that's got, well, I can copy it, I guess, but yeah.
Another idea, probably you can add the title of the Sepia channel.
Oh, I just found the Ceph.com testing page. Nice.
I don't think I've seen it before.
Oh, I'm now noticing there's also a YouTube video, and it's apparently well behind. Oh wait, or it's a playlist? Wow, I have to see how this works. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated. Oh wait, no, it has. Oh, cool. That's awesome.
But look, if you hover over join the call, it's got the old blue jeans, or is that
Oh, it does?
well, it's
I
a
didn't think
different
it did.
number.
Join. Where does it say join?
185 and
Oh, that one. Oh, crap, you're right. Okay. Yeah, actually, I might be able to change that. wonders of. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm an admin or not. Let's find out. Anyway, yeah, I'll get
You're
that
a
fixed
brave man,
either way.
Greg.
I'm curious where
Yeah.
I don't know much about how Ceph.com works, although I'm sure I have access to it. Like, where is this content?
It's a WordPress blog, and
It's
you might not have access to it only because it's one of those random things. With
WordPress. Yeah.
yeah.
sure.
Anyway, I think the community manager and Sage both are like super admins with their email notifications and stuff, and then they occasionally make people other privileged ways. Let's see here. Testing. Oh, this is so weird and hard to edit. There we go. Edit that
Yeah,
link.
in the
Yeah.
the Etherpad link isn't on there either. But maybe
Yeah.
it's not a good idea to have it. Might get vandalized.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
leave that off.
It's on the
Mhm.
calendar invite proper, so right?
Right.
That's how I'm picking it up, so I think that's probably good enough.
Yeah, that's where I get it as well.
Yeah. Now I click the update button. There, it's fixed, I think.
Indeed. Works for me.
Awesome. I have the power. I'm always wondering when people ask for random things. Anyway, all right, so shall we go through the PRs, or did we have something else to talk about? All right, let's go through these just because it's been a while. So I'm just looking at the pull page. There's a brand new one about HA proxy keep alive, and I have no idea what that is. And it doesn't pass the test, so I'm sure Basu or Shilpa will ping one of us later if they need us. We've got Nathan's sleep before teardown, and he just said it has passed in downstream. So yeah, I'm inclined. I think I'm just gonna click this merge button now.
Yay.
We.
And so what is this? Let's see. All jobs run sleep for the given number of seconds.
Waste
Oh,
machine
for
time,
interactive
Zach.
debugging.
Its purpose
Yeah.
is to hold machines locked.
Put in 10 million is my famous sleep before teardown, and then 10 million. Trigger that 12-hour.
Yep.
Yeah, it's potentially very dangerous if you put it on a job that has 100 tests. Then all of them will wait for 12 hours.
Let's just hope
okay.
no one uses it wrong.
Well,
No one reads the help text for these commands anyway. They won't even notice it.
Exactly. Okay, so there's this 1208. This is Nathan's. You want to dump this dump context thing? I don't understand what it's like. I get you said it's didactic to help people learn, but I don't understand how it's supposed to do that.
Oh, I made a dummy test, and all it does is it has tasks and then dump CTX, and then it's extremely easy way to see what the contents of the CTX is what it is. But it's just an idea.
So you're looking more at the context than you are at the config.
Right. And then the
okay.
config is there it drives home the fact that the config is per task, so it's empty, right? If nothing is given to CTX as a config, then it's empty. But if you put something in, then you can see it's for people who need to learn by doing instead of learn by reading code. So well, what is this CTX? Oh, well, just do dump CTX, and boom, you have it dumped in your log. And what's the
Right.
config? Oh, the config is, and then you can add things to your work in progress branch, right? And make your own test, and you
Okay.
can see how it works. So it's, as I say, a
Okay.
didactic tool.
Okay. Did you want to try and fix the pretty print thing, or just do you not actually care that much?
I found I couldn't figure out why it's getting killed, but it might be because of some older version of the logging module or something. That's because I couldn't reproduce it on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
So on my laptop, that same code worked fine, and it was pre-printed to the log. So I think it must be because our Toothology OpenStack is using an older version of Python or whatever. So no, short answer,
Or
no,
maybe,
I don't
yeah.
want.
All right. Well, it's not referenced elsewhere, so fine. Dupe.
Yeah, this looks like it should work. So
Yeah.
Oh, it works.
Uh,
It's tested. It works.
yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I mean, obviously, you guys, I can understand that you wouldn't see any reason to use it, but it's for
Yeah.
newbies and for teaching.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
yeah, sure, that's fine.
Cool. Um, this is
Also, I want to make a dummy. Actually, there is a dummy Toothology suite called Dummy, and it just has a way for if you're working on Toothology and if you have an OpenStack environment and you're running Toothology repeatedly, it's nice to have a suite that doesn't actually do anything, and then this
Yep.
could be kind of like a no-op.
Yeah.
Right? But we already have a no-op task. I'm aware of that.
We do, but if you felt like this should be part of that dummy suite somehow, then yeah, go for it.
Cool.
all right. So the next one is 1206, and this is here. Oh, and yeah. So Zach, I wanted to ask you about this one.
Me too.
Not because the code isn't working, but because the the Jenkins test isn't working, and I have no idea why. And by
It
not
isn't
working, I mean it's
scheduled.
not running. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not running. It's not scheduled, right?
Like, so we can go look at the jobs on Jenkins, and they're running for the other PRs, and I can see them there. This one
Could it be
isn't.
that nobody responded to Ceph Jenkins when he asked, "Can one of the admins verify this patch?"
I just told it to
Oh.
test. I'm not sure
Um,
how important the specific phrasing is, but what I always use is just test this, please.
yeah.
I'm sure you have to have some level of privilege on Jenkins to do that. I would assume that Greg would have it at least. Maybe retest this, please isn't good enough.
No,
Like
apparently I don't have that privilege because it just went for you. And no, that's simply
but I also
it's a literal it's a regex. I got Alfredo to explain this to me at one point, and if you have test this please in any manner, it works.
okay.
Do you
All right.
guys
Well,
use
let me.
GitHub pull request plugin in Jenkins?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, my
Probably
guess is I may not be in. Actually, I don't know what I am.
there is several issues that can be the reason for this. One of them is that I am definitely not in administrator group, that it's not scheduled by default. And from other side, there can be some more issues in configuration files. Probably you have outdated version of the plugin, because when we requested it, someone said test this please, or Jenkins test this please, and default regular expression allows to retest or Jenkins test. It's whatever, and it was saying that it's accepted that it's changed the status of the commit. yeah, that probably
I have an
something.
idea for where this difference might live. Just give me a sec to look into it. The test is running for now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I assume that'll pass, and then this will be fine.
Oh, here we go. You're not. It's so this. It looks like the list of admins is part of the Jenkins job, and you're not
Okay.
on the admin list, Greg. You're on the
Yeah.
white list. I
Okay.
don't know too much about the difference between those, other than just what they sound like.
Means that my stuff gets tested automatically, but I can't approve other people's. I'm sure.
Okay.
Um,
I would be fine with putting you on the admin list, and I think that
yeah.
we should put Kier on the white list. And looks like Nathan's not on it either.
That seems weird. Although he may be a member of a GitHub. Does it have any GitHub groups in there? Because he may get picked up by that, and Kier doesn't.
Oh, there's
I'm
an
not sure.
org list field here, so maybe that.
Yeah. Which I am like in one of the Ceph teams that's listed as an admin for this repo, which is why I'm surprised I couldn't trigger stuff. But
Yeah, it just might not
maybe it
work that
doesn't
way. I'm not
fall
sure.
out that far. Yeah. Okay.
So
I think
so
I can
Nathan,
merge.
do your PRs get tested automatically? I think
Yes,
they
I
do.
believe they. I believe they do.
And Kier's do not. And maybe Kier's just not part of the Ceph org, which can be
Yeah.
changed, right?
Yeah,
I think.
Kira
Um,
doesn't have merge authority in Ceph/Ceph,
Okay.
and maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
So yeah, he can get.
there is a group Ceph, and
Yeah.
there's a feature in the GitHub plugin that it checks
Yeah.
if
So we need.
someone is part of the group, and it's called whitelisted feature of this plugin.
Yeah. So we need to get you in that org. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, I don't have those permissions. I don't think.
So two ways to resolve it. I think it's either add me to staff group or to whitelist for this particular job in Jenkins.
Yeah, we want to put you in the Ceph group because that'll carry across to other things.
And
That will go better.
this plugin also has a feature like administrators can add people to whitelist. Just put in comment in the PR like add user to add to whitelist, and the user will be automatically.
I think it's okay to test is the phrase.
Well, that's on a particular test though, or on a particular PR, right? Not adding the whole user.
Well, shouldn't we just add him to the org? Is there a reason that we wouldn't want to do that?
We should do that, but I don't have that power. So I think he can ask to be invited, and then we can poke at one of the admins to do it. Or maybe you're an admin.
Owner.
Oh, you are
of Ceph.
All right, then you should do that.
Yeah.
Because I think we've got the number way down.
Yep. Let's see. I'm picking which teams to put him on. Looks like Ceph and
probably just the one big one.
contributors. And yeah, Ceph and contributors, I think.
I don't know what the contributors one is, but sure.
Just the description just says recognize contributors to the Ceph project.
All right.
I don't know much about that. I'll just add to the Ceph one because I don't want to do the wrong thing here, and this will do what we want.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So that looks
done.
like.
And also the tests passed on this PR, so yay. So now I need to look at what the PR actually does here. So, we're just looking at a bunch of different potential keys to use.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's how it's called. The Python module for SSH doesn't do this by default. unfortunately. Let's go.
Wow, there's some really old pull requests open in this repo. Anyway, that's
Paramico. Yeah.
so that's the remainder of the new ones. Except for this other no validate refs one from whoever this is.
Which one is?
Oh, sorry, number 1194.
No validators.
But there are now conflicts and outstanding comments, so I'll let that
Well, we got one in from
sit.
2016. That's good.
Now let's see if we can, our long-term goal could be to ambitiously either merge or close the one from 2014 from Andrew. Not quite 4 years old yet.
All right, so I think the SSH key one can just be merged. I don't see a problem with it.
Are you doing that? Are you clicking that button? Cool.
Done did it.
All right. Awesome. And I
So
bet
just
Ollie
no
hasn't done
validate
anything
ref.
about this one. Oh, yeah. I was just saying, like, there's some outstanding questions on that one, so I'm just going to leave it.
Right.
Especially since there are now merge conflicts.
Ooh,
Let's
Python
take a
3
look at it.
Although
compatibility.
it's from a different company, so
was-
maybe we should try and help them with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Kier?
Yeah, just so the one patch, it's 2016 about Python 3 compatibility, and I was about to produce another patch for Python 3 compatibility. So probably we can escalate it, because right now we can't use Python tautology to deploy on Python 3.
Yeah.
And
It's
Python
only
3
out of
itself has
date.
changed since that. Python 3 itself
Yeah,
has changed.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's an
Yeah,
it's an old batch, but it may be a useful base to get going on. All right. Do you have anything else in our last couple minutes, guys, or are we good?
Quick question for Nathan. Nathan, that filter issue that you reported.
Yep.
I think Warren was trying to fix it, and I think he had a week, but he didn't put a PR out. But I wonder, are you still experiencing those issues?
Oh, well, I was on vacation last week, and this week I haven't run any upstream tautology. Well, I did run a couple, but
Well,
yeah,
I guess if
wasn't
you
trying
do,
to filter.
then let's try to look more carefully into how to demonstrate it.
He couldn't reproduce it? Is that the issue?
I'm not sure
mean,
that he couldn't reproduce it, but he couldn't validate the PR, the fix.
Right. Well, and okay, so he has a work in progress branch with a fix, but it hasn't been opened as a PR. Is that?
Yes. And
Well,
I
if
can
he
dig
opens,
out the VIP name and send it to you.
yeah, send me the work in progress branch, and but yeah, I guess that fix would be on the client side, right? So it would be in Tautology Suite, then I would be able to validate it. Yes, be happy to do that.
I'm not sure if that would be in the suite, but I'll take a look and let you know.
Yeah, if it doesn't touch the worker code, then I can
Okay.
validate.
Sure.
All right. Sounds like that's it. So thanks so much, everybody.
Good
I will
meeting.
see
Thank you.
you next week.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Guys, bye.
Bye.